Hey there, it's Christmas, and this year we decided to share with you a bit our cultures and our tradition, and especially what we do for Christmas, because I am Romanian and my wife is Polish, and this is the first time when we're actually doing a hybrid Christmas. You know, we try to do things traditionally from both of our cultures. Prior to this year, for the last 7 years, we just did like your average Western Christmas, you know, and kind of followed those traditions and those dishes. But this year, because we actually moved to Poland, we decided just to go with a more traditional approach and make most of the food that we have on the table now. And if you're interested in the recipe for the bacon, homemade bacon, and the steaks and the sausages, I'll make sure to put them in the description and everywhere in cards and all of that stuff. But apart from that, it's more about getting to know each other better, both us, because we're doing this for the first time, and for you guys to see or to have a sneak peek into how we celebrate these big holidays that everybody's so comfortable and loves so much. I don't want to generalize, I want to speak more from my family's point of view and our traditions, but they are very similar to how people back in Romania celebrate Christmas, because it's a mix between Christian holidays or holidays that have been changed and adapted to suit the Christian from the pagan past, to suit the Christian agenda, and some other traditions that have been allowed to be more true to their nature. And no matter what, Christmas is a time when family gets together, similar to, I would say, how Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, only we bring almost everybody together, or we visit them the next day, Christmas being celebrated over 3 or 4 days. Let's say in Christmas Eve you have your very close family unit, then the next day you see your, I don't know, sisters and brothers, people who couldn't attend, and the third day you see your godfathers and godmothers. Christmas is a very busy time, there's no resting. Prior to Christmas, there's a lot of work just to prepare Christmas. Then is a lot of work to visit everybody or to be visited by people. And if there's any rest, it's in between Christmas and New Year's. It's a celebration of love. It's a celebration where everybody can be happy, can be together with their loved ones. You get the rosy cheeks from having some mulled wine, which it's very traditional. There's a couple of traditions that are not so common, more nature-based traditions, and I'll simplify. There's so many of them that are still thankfully being kept and taught to the next generations. One is called the plow, or for the lack of a better word, plowing. That gives me Witcher 3 vibes. The second one is called the goat, and the third one is the dance of the bear. But apart from that, Christmas for us is a celebration of love and uniting the family back together after a long year, maybe when we didn't see each other because everybody has their life. As food comes, the pig is king, especially for Christmas, and that reflects into the dishes that we make, because everything is with pig. From the sarmale, which is basically pork meat with rice and spices and other seasoning wrapped in cabbage leaves or grapevine leaves, to the steaks of smoked meats and the sausages and the cured meats, many other dishes, including the salad, which is made with mainly root vegetables. Yeah, you have the potatoes and carrots and parsnips and celery roots, and also pickles, basically everything that you would have in the winter time. But a pig is king. It's a very fatty celebration. Everything is smeared and covered in pork fat. Even in making this traditional sweet, which is called kozonak, it's like a sweet bread, we use high amounts of lard, pork lard. So everything is pork, which I think it's different from what you guys do here.
Yeah.
Which is?
Traditionally, in my family, we don't eat meat.
In general, or just for Christmas?
Just for Christmas Eve. And we also celebrate Christmas Eve as the main day for Christmas. So we gather. We have 12 dishes.
Wow, 12.
Traditionally.
That's a lot.
Most of it is going to be vegetables or fish.
Oh, well, you see, this is a big difference between. So I was raised as a Orthodox Christian, you are Catholic. For us, when you fast or you don't eat meat, you don't eat fish, because fish or eggs, they're considered like animal protein. So the fact that you guys still have the possibility to eat fish while still not eating meat, you know, that's a huge difference between just the cultures and stuff. But 12 dishes,
Yeah.
I mean, oh my, who has time to prepare 12 dishes every Christmas, and who eats 12 dishes?
Another important difference is we do nothing for Christmas. So that's where we, I think, we're slightly superior in our traditions to you guys.
So maybe that's why we eat so much meat and fat, to have the energy to run around like Speedy Gonzales, while you guys just chill.
Yeah, so we basically, we meet for Christmas Eve.
Vegetarian chill.
And then you can visit, obviously you can visit grandparents, you can visit your brothers, sisters, cousins, all of that. But in my family, we do Christmas Eve. First day of Christmas, we would traditionally visit my grandparents when my grandma was still alive. And then pretty much second day of Christmas would just be resting and eating all that food that was made. All of that pierogi with sauerkraut and...
Oh yeah, just like what are the 12 dishes, or so some of them?
So that's kind of a big thing.
Because we don't really have much of them here. We have what? This is the
fish.
The fish.
Fried fish with carrots and like tomato sauce and some other root vegetables as well. You do it a couple of days earlier so it can stew a little bit and kind of in its juices. It's really nice. We have that tiny amount because he does not eat any fish.
I don't eat fish,
but from my mom.
But I love you, so you can have fish and not kiss for a couple of hours.
We also have mushroom patties and mushroom and sauerkraut, everything pretty much.
What about those mushrooms? They have to be what?
They have to be, well, they don't have to be wild mushrooms.
Well, I would beg to differ.
Yeah.
They have to be wild mushroom and they have to be porcinis.
Well, it can be a mix of wild mushrooms. My dad goes mushroom picking himself throughout the year, and my mum tries them.
I went with him this year.
He did go. He was very excited to have a companion.
4 times.
So was my dad, to have a companion to pick mushrooms.
Don't speak much, because I don't really speak Polish, but like,
I mean, I'm sure
it's all about the experience.
I'm sure he speaks plenty, it's just not something you can understand.
Basic, yes, no, yeah, I'm coming, how far I am.
Yes, so that's all you need. A couple of types of cookies, some cakes.
Question, are the cookies and cakes part of the 12 dishes, or that like the dessert is separate?
I mean, if you ask my mom, she'd say yes, because she spent a good 2 weeks in the kitchen anyway.
Maybe even more.
She's gonna say yes, it is a part of it.
Mom starts cooking for Christmas or preparing for Christmas in beginning of December, and she's very organized. She has this list printed with, I would say it's like a dossier, like this thick, and everything is planned. On this day I need to buy the carrots, on this day I need to peel the carrots, on this day I need to fry the fish.
Have to be
and
efficient.
it is efficient, because if it takes the whole freaking month to prepare Christmas, I mean, that's stressful. That's like 15 years in the kitchen, and that would be even more stressful for me.
How long did it take us to prepare this? It took us
5 days, I would say. But we had the bacon prepared, the sausages, like a lot of the
pretty
stuff.
much just making cake and what?
The salads.
It was cheated because my mom gave me the filling for it anyway. So.
But it took a whole day to make the kozunak and the sarmale. And at the end, I started the day at 7 in the morning and I finished it at 11:23 in the evening. And I was spent. So yeah. I think it's better to if possible, to just split it in a longer, and a big freezer as well.
A big freezer, yes, that is crucial.
Okay, so sorry, you were speaking about the mushroom parties. What's the next thing next to it?
Crepes, wrapped and fried with again sauerkraut, mushroom filling. We have uszka, which is dumpling of sorts with wild mushrooms and onions.
I think the idea here is that this is an old tradition, right? This Christmas dinner is that people substituted meat with mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's like and sauerkraut.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's freaking delicious. Honestly, from these 12 dishes, those two are my favorite. I mean, I like the other stuff apart from the fishy stuff, but there's nothing like a good wild mushroom patty. It just feels expensive. It feels expensive. Quick run through the other list. So we have 3 already.
I'm not going to give you a whole list of 12, but there's a lot of fish. There's a lot of fried fish. There's fish in...
There's the pierogi. Come on, that's like...
Well, I've talked about pierogi. The first thing I talked about. It's the most important.
It's the most important.
Yes, you have borscht, which is very important as well. Which is what you eat your pierogi and your with. Which is just basically beetroot soup. It's my mum traditionally makes it with the juice from rehydrating and cooking the mushrooms.
Wow,
which gives it
that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
See, I need to ask Mom
And
more
again,
often about recipes.
It takes like 2 days to cook that particular thing, and then it needs to rest. There's a lot of different stuff, and obviously everybody's got different traditions throughout the country.
Any specific drinks you guys do for?
No. Apart from borscht, we don't really have you have more wine. We don't really.
Oh, so it's
do
like
that.
it's basically like
It's also
fasting.
Usually, yes.
It's like a fasting day.
Yes. I mean, you can steal a beer if you want.
I mean, yeah.
But traditionally.
I usually drink a beer.
Yeah, but
Pagan.
you don't have any kind of drinks with that. I'm thinking of traditional cakes, because this is not a traditional cake. It's just cake that we both like, so that's fine.
That's a good cake.
We do have a gingerbread as a cake, like it's a loaf made in a loaf.
And gingerbread decorations, everything is gingerbread, which is not for us. For example, we have these small sweets and cookies for Christmas. Basically, we call them cornulețe, which is horns, tiny horns. Yeah, again from the goat, and all of those old school semi-pagan traditions, but they're just cookie dough with some usually Turkish delight or a mix of nuts, and they're delicious. But like, I love gingerbread, and I've been exposed to gingerbread very late in my life because that's not something we do back home, and I'm happy you did so many gingerbread cookies.
I mean, they're great.
They're the best. Yeah.
They're amazing. Yeah, but we do make it in a loaf as well as in a loaf tin, and you put some plum jam inside. So that's kind of probably the most traditional Christmas cake for us.
Now, just to make clear the traditions that I was speaking in the beginning, they are like not so Christian and quite pagan in nature. I'll put some links in the descriptions if you guys want to see this. I would even call them rituals, because they are kept as rituals every year, and they have to do with making sure that the next year is going to be abundant, like the soil is going to be rich, making sure that the fertility of the animals and of the soil is going to be there. I'll put some links in the descriptions, and you guys tell me if it's something that you've experienced as well in your culture, because with the power of the internet now we have access to cultures all over the world. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is not just to show you guys what we eat for Christmas, but also to kind of make sure that people find out other things about other people from other cultures. I just feel like a lot of these good, healthy traditions are disappearing. Hopefully this is going to be some window into something else. And if you have any questions, if you see any dishes, any foods, any cakes, sweets, whatever you see here that you would be interested in, just let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to share with you the recipe or make a video about it. Or maybe we already have it, for example the sausages and the homemade bacon. There's so many things that we can share with you. Just ask for them in the comments. Thank you very much for joining us for Christmas, and we would love to hear a bit about your cultures and your traditions, not just for Christmas in general, but not, it's Christmas time now, so that's front and center. It's like short message below, or you can send me an email on the email account in the description as well. I'm always keeping an eye on that. So let's start a conversation. Let's start sharing our cultures and learn from each other, because there's so much to share and to learn. So Merry Christmas, and enjoy that feast that you have in front of you right now. Just like we will now. I want the sausage. Give me that sausage.